What we're doing this for.
It does completely really interesting.
Nothing I can do to make a world out.
We used Kickstarter to finance this album, and it started out an experience that it wouldn't have been the first way we wanted to make an album, because you kind of want to leave the finances on the band side of things, not to have the public to deal with that, and our friends and family. But it ended up being one of the most just kind of moving and inspiring experiences to see all the support that people were willing to give us. And you know, you can say times are hard. They are, you know, to give $20, that's a lot of money for me. And people, with their donations, it was amazing to see that level of support. It's so neat to meet everybody that donated and just have more than the band just as a part of this process now. It's my favorite way of doing it now.
We couldn't have done it without them, absolutely. And utilizing, you know, our relationships with our fans and letting them be a part of making the record, I feel like makes it so much better. Because there isn't a moment that isn't in our minds, you know, that we're doing this because of them. Without them, this would be impossible.
Yeah.
And so, hopefully that piece of, you know, that reminder in the back of our heads is making sure that we're making a great record for them.
And kind of on a separate note, that the songs, you know, themselves are some of like the most personal, revealing kind of things that we do. You know, that's one of the most revealing parts of ourselves. And I feel like the creation of the album and everything that goes into it has always been something that's completely separate from the people that listen to the music. And there's no reason that what goes into making an album, that they should be a part of that too. They're the ones that listen to the music as well. They're the ones that support us. I feel like I wish we hadn't kept everybody so hidden from what goes into making an album until now, because I just want them to see everything. I want them to see, you know, shots of us messing things up in the studio. I don't want them to just hear the perfect product when we get done. I want them to see the whole thing now. Yeah. There's strings or something right there. Up an octave with the right hand. For the second album, we knew everything we were going to play before we even went into the studio, because we played most of the songs hundreds of times. This is different because we've never played most of these songs ever as a band, so we booked a little extra time so that we could really work through the parts as a band in the studio. There's only been 3 songs that people have ever heard. The rest have just been demos that we've been sending back and forth secretly over the last few years, and some of them very recently. A lot of the songs didn't get written until the last couple months.
Why I am leaving, you need to see the changing time. You know the hardest part.
Experimenting in the studio has been really exciting. We've used lots of interesting drum kits and different sounds. I mean, even recording to tape is experimenting for us.
That one good kiss won't ever change the things you did that night.
I also think an exciting part of experimenting with the songs in the studio has been everybody coming up with their spots, their parts on the spot, and with that initial spark of creativity when you hear the song and the first thing that pops into your head is what you play. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but you don't have whatever preconceived ideas about a song that you would if you've been playing it, you know, for months. When you hear it for the first time and you're playing on it and you're tracking just, you know, within a half hour of trying the song out for the first time, there's definitely a level of excitement in the parts that we haven't had on the other albums. The other albums have been so rehearsed before we got into the studio that we pretty much knew what we wanted to come out with. But now the songs are really, you know, being developed when the microphones are on and when we're hitting record, so that's definitely exciting.
That night, I know when the world starts falling down on you and your back begins to fold, those three short words won't hold.
The level of excitement over it far exceeds the prior two albums for me. Thank you again to everybody who donated on the Kickstarter. We are having a blast trying to make an album that is worth well over $19,000 for you.
We hope you love it, alright?
We do.
Baby, can you let it go? 'Cause you should know it's time to...
Oh, and there is a lady that we know that makes all of this happen, that drives all over the country and tells people about Crowfield, and her name's Berkley Aiken. And she was a huge help with the Kickstarter and every step along the way. She brought us Chick-fil-A in the studio one day when we were starving, and a bottle of whiskey, and she just helps.
Because I was really stressed and I needed some whiskey.
And she helps with everything, and most of this would never happen without her, so thanks to her. And you have to put that in the video, because you're the one editing it, and we'll know that you're the one that left it out if it's not in there.
Sweet.
Game over. Robot down.
It's all out there.